Hi and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast. I'm Chrissy, I'm the Mum Boss, and you're joining me today for a Mum Boss at Home community check-in. So every week my clients fill in a lovely check-in form for me and they share with me their wins, what they're struggling with, they ask questions, and this is their opportunity to really get their support from me, and I record it as a podcast so that you lovely lot that aren't currently working with me get to hear it as well. If you want to know how you can get my help and support and work with me, then check the link in the show notes. So we start with the wins. Let's go through those. So Laura is feeling stronger when she's running. That's amazing. Jamie came and joined us for a Friday live workout. That was also incredible. To see Jamie. She loves a morning workout, and she did well over 6k steps every single day apart from Wednesday last week, so well done, Jamie. Claire got lots of good exercise in. She made good choices on key food over the weekend. Jackie maintained healthy eating and exercise. Tracy managed a run, a swim class and a long walk this week on top of meeting her step goals. And food on the whole has been tracked. Hannah went to an aqua Zumba class and she loved it. Amazing. That's possibly a bit too much for my brain to cope with. Aqua and Zumba, yeah, too much. Far too much coordination needed there. Tish has got in a lot of steps on her holiday. Sophie averaged 11k steps. She did her workouts and had some compliments from people this week, which was really nice. Emma hit over 7k steps for multiple days in a row for the first time this year and felt great for it. Amazing. Steph says that she doesn't feel she has a specific win as such this week, although eating and exercise were on track. However, she would say her whole attitude towards food and her eating habits has completely changed, and she makes much more intentional decisions where food and meals are concerned. And even though she hasn't been tracking this week, she's still been making choices she knows will bring her within her calorie range. And when she was out in London all day on Thursday, her food selections were really natural, with the goal of achieving her protein, fruit, veg and calorie targets without being tempted by less healthy options on the menu. So for a win that started saying, I don't think I have anything specific, I think that's an amazing win. A change in mindset actually is what brings about long-term results more than anything, so well done. Lisa didn't drink 2 nights in a row on a hen weekend, and she worked out with me on Saturday morning of the hen weekend, so go us. Jack said that sometimes you just have to survive it, and she made it to boot camp. Yes, she did. Stacey had better sleep this week. Her summer dresses are all out and they fit, which is amazing. Because they still fit, even though she bought them last year. She's really happy with that, which is great. Okay, let's go into some of the challenges and the questions. So I was out last night with friends who I only get out with once or twice a year. The place that we ate was all junk food, really. I picked chicken, but it came in batter. Also had 2 cocktails and Prosecco, so I went way over my calories for the day. So what I've said to this person, or what I say to this person, is there is nothing wrong with this on the odd occasion. You've said it yourself. You don't see these friends very often. You don't get out with them very often. It's a one-off, maybe a couple of times a year. This is part of life. And this is the thing that I really want everyone to hear, okay, is that life is meant to be fun. We are meant to be social. We are meant to see our friends. We are meant to have a nice time. And sometimes that includes cocktails and Prosecco and being out in a place where the food isn't that great. And if you were doing this every weekend, and, you know, drinking all weekend and eating junk food all weekend, it would be different, but you're not. So you can absolutely say, I had a brilliant time, and move on from it. And also, just so that everyone knows, if you do have, you know, a big weekend coming up, or a meal out planned or something like that, and you want help to make your choices. One of my other clients did this earlier, sent a message about somewhere they're going on Friday, shared the menu and asked me to help them pick, because there might be occasions, particularly if you've got quite a few social occasions coming up in one go, there might be occasions where you want to, maybe only have one cocktail and a glass of Prosecco and choose food that is going to stay in line with your goals, because that means that you get to go out and do these things more often. So please don't beat yourself up for having a good time with friends and having a social life, because that is part of life. Okay, so a couple of days I went a few calories over, about 50. I wonder if I'm really hungry. I have thought I was hungry, and this is what I do when I get used to eating a load of food. I think I get greedy. Okay, so for everyone, you are all in roughly a 500 calorie deficit. Okay, so I've given you a calorie range that gives you flexibility. You have a lower end of your range and you have an upper end of your range, but you're all in roughly a 500 calorie deficit. So assume that the midpoint of that range is 500, puts you in a 500 calorie deficit. So even if you go over the top end of your range by 300 calories, you are still in a 200 calorie deficit. Even if you eat at maintenance, you go 500 calories over, that doesn't mean you're going to put on body fat. It just means you're eating at maintenance. Okay, so going 50 calories over is not a bad thing. It's fine. You have a range. You are in a 500 calorie deficit. Okay, think about your calories like a budget. Okay, you can spread those calories across the week. So let's say the top end of your range is 1700. You don't have to eat 1700 every day. So the bottom end of your range is 1500. You don't have to eat 1500 every day. You could eat 1500 on Monday, 1600 on Tuesday, 1750 on Wednesday, 1550 on Thursday, 1800 on Friday, as long as at the end of the week you are in an overall deficit, you will lose body fat. Okay, and so going over 50 or 100 or 150 calories does not mean you have gone over your calories. It just makes your deficit a little bit smaller. If you're consistently going over maintenance calories, so the person that's asked this question, your maintenance calories are roughly like 2,100. If you were constantly going over 2,100, you wouldn't be in a calorie deficit. You wouldn't be losing body fat. In fact, you'd probably be putting it on, which you're not. So even going over 500 calories is fine. This isn't greedy. Remember, you are in a deficit in order to lose body fat. This is normal. And it's going to take you a while to get out of this mindset. And I feel like I say this to this person every week, okay? But when you reach your goal, and I'm not going to say goal weight because we're trying to move away from the scales for you, but when you reach your goal and you are happy with where you've got to, we will need to get you into maintenance. And that is where the real hard work goes, because what you've done before now is you've done really restrictive diets. You've lost weight, you've then gone into really, you've gone completely the other way and put the weight back on. So instead, what we're going to need you to do is to learn how to eat in maintenance, which will mean going up to around 2,000, 2,100 calories. Okay, so this will be really key for you. Okay, I'm not going to weigh myself for a while, especially after my night out on Saturday. I did my weight and measurements before I went. I think I'll be heavier and this may set me back. I enjoyed my night with my friends like ordinary folk do, so I will just get back to eating as I was today. So you don't need to weigh yourself daily or weekly if you don't want to. I don't actually recommend anyone weighs themselves weekly. It's not a sensible thing to do. Either weigh yourself monthly or weigh yourself daily or nearly daily. But I would never recommend anyone weighs themselves after a night out, a weekend away, or a holiday. Because the scales will be up, you are right, but it is impossible for them to be up because of body fat. Now remember, you're in roughly a 500 calorie deficit for every day, which means you're in a 3,500 calorie deficit roughly for the week. In order to gain 1 pound of body fat, you need to eat in excess of you need to eat 3,500 calories above your maintenance. Okay, so you would have on that one night needed to eat about 5,000 to 6,000 calories in order to have gained a pound of body fat, and I can guarantee you didn't do that. So yes, the scales would be up if you weighed yourself, but they will be up from water retention, which is all due to the extra food that you had, the alcohol, the salt, probably a little bit less sleep due to the alcohol. Okay. This person then goes on to say, should I be trying to eat at the lower end of my calorie target this week because I had this night out? Absolutely not. Do not do that. This leads to a binge restrict mindset. This is what has got a lot of us in trouble in the past, where we think that because we've had an indulgent weekend, we then really need to be restrictive. And I know you're talking about the bottom end of your calorie range, not super low calories, but for you in particular, because of your dieting history, I do not want you to do this. I do not want anyone to do this. So it isn't necessary for you to eat at the lower end of your calories. If you have a day where you are actually a bit less hungry, yes, you can eat at the bottom end of your calories, but do not automatically do that. I have just come back from a hen weekend, and I did indulge on Saturday, and I indulged in food, and I also didn't get very much sleep. It would be really easy for me to completely slash my calories today, but I'm not going to do it. Just draw a line and carry on as normal. Okay. I've noticed I'm hungry. You've put at a night out, but I'm wondering whether you mean after a night out. Does eating later at night make a difference for weight loss goals? So these are two slightly different points here that I want to make. So I always know that if I eat later at night, I wake up hungrier in the morning. That's often because if I've eaten later at night, it tends to be because I've been out, I've eaten at a restaurant, I've potentially had a drink or two, I've had a later night. So I tend to wake up hungrier because I'm tired, okay? So that's often why we feel hungrier after a night out. Does eating later at night make a difference to weight loss goals? No. Think about it this way. If you were to get on a plane and go east, I had to really think about that then, and go east, there's a fly in my office and it's really annoying me, to China, and they are however many hours they are ahead, you would be eating later than what you're normally used to eating because they're ahead, right? It doesn't matter to weight loss. So it might matter to your hunger levels if you eat later, which then might make you more hungry the next day because you're more tired. You might have a little bit of a hangover because of the cocktails. But the time of day, you know, we used to hear all these rules about don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. You shouldn't be eating after 7 p.m. How do you think night shift workers deal with this? How do you think shift workers deal with this? It doesn't matter. So if you eat a bit later, the time that you eat doesn't really matter. It's just what's going on for you and how that later night might affect your behaviours, okay? Your body doesn't care if it's 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. Good. Okie dokie. Trying to get more sleep, but now experiencing hot flushes at night as the weather is warm and need to amend my sleeping environment. So absolutely resonate with this. Get those windows open. lighter, if this is for everyone, lighter pajamas, a lighter duvet. If you are experiencing regular hot flushes as well, I would recommend that you have a chat with your doctor, because it could be perimenopause related. Okay, so this person, so here's a challenge. Working late into the night, then getting into bed and looking at my phone because I needed some downtime. I would have been better off getting into bed and doing some breathing and relaxation exercises rather than wiring my brain even further. So it took even longer to get to sleep. Yes, I absolutely agree with you. It's really tempting to look at your phone and call that downtime. It's not downtime. All you're doing is stimulating yourself. So breathing exercises, relaxation, read a bit of a book, but don't scroll. Same person, when setting time for yourself, do you do this every day or give your set days a week to do it? Do it every day. Do it every day. 10 minutes of self-care. My self-care is my little bit of reading every night, my skincare that I like to take my time over, taking a little break when I'm eating my lunch, going for my walks. You should be doing something every day, especially if you are really stressed. Good. Okay, so there's a few things from this one person. They've had a challenging week. There's lots going on. They're under a lot of stress and pressure, both at work and at home. And what they've noticed is that when things get overwhelming or life throws me curveballs, I seem to revert to not being able to focus on this way of eating and living. And I make the excuse that this is because I have too much going on. They've then gone on to say, I'll be doing another reset, so any support on that would be great. I know I have a really busy week coming up and it will be easy to let things slide, so I need to focus on some key non-negotiables and not try to do everything. If I just focused on one or two things, what would you suggest they be? Protein, fruit and veg. So we had this conversation in our group WhatsApp today, and I'll be honest, there was some tough love. This has been a bit of a theme this week. There are lots of you dealing with stress, and I could say that every single week, that there is lots of you dealing with stressful situations and stuff that is going on. Okay, now this particular person has, over the last couple of months, done a couple of little resets because life has got in the way, and I think it's probably fair to say missed a few check-ins as well, right? And I'm really sorry that life has been stressful. And here's the thing, you said this for yourself. If you constantly revert back to the behaviours that don't serve you when life is stressful, you won't achieve your goals. Because life will always throw curveballs. There is no one on this green earth who does not have some kind of stress in their life. That is just a fact, okay? So fueling yourself well, moving your body and taking care of yourself when you're feeling this way will help you to deal with stress rather than make it harder. So why are you even letting yourself revert back to previous behaviours? So you've not given examples here, but I know that they are probably around food choices and moving your body, right? So let's say you got into a really good routine of having a high protein, fruit-filled breakfast, and then life throws some stress at you, so you revert back to cereal, right? Why are you doing that? You're doing that because cereal you can pour into a bowl and pour some milk on top of, whereas your Greek yogurt with your berries and whatever probably takes a little bit more, or it does take a little bit more preparation, thinking and time. And you're telling yourself you don't have the time or energy to do that. And what I'm telling you is that by not spending those few minutes to fuel yourself with good nutritious food that is going to give you energy, you are actually just taking energy and time away from yourself. Because often clients feel like when they are making more effort to do their non-negotiables, they feel like they give themselves the gift of time because they all are more productive. They are more resilient to the stresses. So what I want you to do is reframe the perception that you have of building these habits. I feel like you are telling yourself these are really hard habits to do, when actually they are the habits, and we're not talking about anything super duper hard. We're talking about protein, fruit, veggies, and getting out for a walk. They're the things I think you should focus on, and we've talked about that. Right, these are things that you need to be doing for the rest of your life. And if you think you are going to live the rest of your life without any stress, then I think you're in for a bit of a shock. So reframe your perception of building these habits. These habits are what are going to give me energy, what are going to help me de-stress. They are what are going to help me deal with the stress and the pressure that I'm under. Not, oh, these are another thing I need to do. Okay. And like I said, remember that life will always have an element of stress involved in it. Always. That's the way life is. Okay. Right. I worry that I'm not doing the right type of exercise. I always read that doing circuits isn't going to tone you up. And you say that running pushes your hunger up. Am I better to go back to basics, i.e. eat less and walk lots? Okay, so the workouts that we do as part of this program are designed to help you build muscle, providing you're using appropriate weights. Actually is a really good point that I need to make here. So if any of you that do my workouts are still using 3 kilogram dumbbells for our sessions, it's time to invest in a heavier pair, right? So the workouts that you have access to are designed to help you to build muscle. I want you to think differently about this, because we've had a couple of conversations, you and I, about this. What is your intention behind the exercise that you're choosing to do? Because I want all of you to train with intent. Are you going to a circuits class that is well planned and designed to help you build muscle, strength and fitness? Or are you going to a class that is designed to make you sweat as much as possible, burn a load of calories and make you feel beasted at the end? And by beasted, I don't mean pumped. I mean, I need to just lie down on the floor. You're also running. Are you running to be social? Are you running to get fitter and healthier? Are you running because you really enjoy it? Or, and I know you must have enjoyed it at one time because you used to do it a lot, or are you doing it to burn as many calories as possible? Because I want you to remember that the weight loss that you are trying to achieve, the fat loss you are trying to achieve, will come from the calorie deficit via your food. I don't want you to be training to try and increase that calorie deficit to, one, try and lose fat quicker, because let me tell you, it doesn't help. You will make yourself more tired. You will push your hunger up, okay, especially when you've got young babies. And also, I've completely forgotten my point. That's annoying, isn't it? Hold on, I need to pause. Right, I had a complete brain fart moment then, sorry about that. So I don't want you to be exercising to just burn as many calories to try and increase your calorie deficit. You'll make yourself more tired, you'll make yourself more hungry, and also it is really hard to out-train overeating your calories. So if you're relying on the calories your watch is telling you that you are burning, you need to stop that as well, because they aren't accurate. Okay. So I would like all of you to be doing 3 strength workouts per week. If you go to the gym and do that, that's brilliant. And this is to help you to build muscle tone as you lose body fat. My workouts are also designed to do that. Okay, we mix it up as well. So sometimes we might do, this morning it was quite a hot and sweaty one because we added a few little cardio moves in there as well, right? that might mean that you need to change your view of what a good workout is, because a good workout, an effective workout, doesn't need, for your goals, does not need to be one that is leaving you beetroot red. Now, I don't know what the classes are that you're doing. I don't go to them. I know where they are. I don't go to them. I don't see them. But I want you to think about, what is the aim of this exercise? Is it that they are designed to just burn a load of calories, in which case they're not going to be getting you stronger. You need some of the basic movements in there, like, lunging, squatting, deadlifting, pressing, pulling movements, okay? And I'll say, as someone who runs circuit classes as well, that there has to be an element of up and down in a circuits class. No gym can create a circuits class that keeps everyone happy and meets everyone's goals. But what I would say is, recently, quite a few of my clients, I've pulled them back off of doing, really HIIT type circuits classes. They're not doing body pump. They're not spinning. They're not doing sweat classes. The name is in the title, sweat classes, right? I've pulled 3 of my clients back from doing sweat classes at their gym because they are not specific to the goals that they are trying to achieve. Okay. I also want you to be getting your 8 to 10k steps a day. And if you do want to add in a run or 2, then do that. But you also need rest days. You don't need to eat less, this person specifically, and in fact everyone, because your calories get checked regularly. Your calories are right where they are. Okay, so like I say, making sure that you are being really specific to your goals. And like I say, I have pulled a few of my clients out of things like spinning and sweat classes, and they have replaced them with, in the one-to-one clients that are doing that, they've replaced them with the one-to-one programs I've set them up in the gym. And then other people in this group and the rest of my client group are doing my workouts from the morning. Now, you might not enjoy my workouts, that's fine. But you need to ask yourself, is what I'm doing specific for my goals? And are you getting enough rest as well? Okay, right. Okay, and then I just wanted to mention this comment as well. Not beat myself up. We really save for this holiday, and that's our big one before I go back to work. We've had a blast, draw a line under it and move on. And I just want to say, great attitude. Okay. This weekend didn't go to plan food wise. I've had fish and chips, pizza and Prosecco. We've been socialising with friends, but I could have not indulged. So I don't want to make an excuse. After receiving compliments on how I look, I was angry with myself for falling off plan. So I'm making this a minor setback and getting myself back on track. So this has been a really common one with people this week. I think the sunshine came out, the whole country got a bit excited and we all socialised. Don't beat yourself up, but also don't, stop thinking about being on track or off track. You've had a weekend, like, draw a line, just go back to normal, to let normal service resume. I think the one thing I would say about you is that you have mentioned in the past that you struggle with weekends. So, go into your weekend with a vague plan. Next question. Do I need to eat 2 portions of fruit a day? I'm just not a fruit person. I'll blend a portion of strawberries or a banana into my protein shake, but honestly, I'd rather have lots of portions of veg instead of fruit. If I have to, I'll make more of an effort. So, I think I've admitted this before. I am a really lazy fruit eater. I don't want it unless it's cut up for me. Okay. I much prefer my Pink Lady apples cut and cored. The same with a pear, anything like that. A banana or berries I'll eat as is. But yeah, I much prefer my fruit cut up. And I like fruit, but I'm lazy with it. 2 would be great because there are different nutrients in fruit than there are in veg. But as long as you are getting at least 1 portion and you are getting lots of colour and variety in your fruit, then I'm happy. Right, my voice is going croaky after all my singing at the weekend. Okay, so something here that was an excuse I thought it was really interesting to pull out, thinking I can eat more because I have the gym later. So here's just a reality check for everyone. Your calorie targets, whether or not you're calorie counting, are they include your exercise. So even if you aren't counting calories, that's not a valid excuse. Okay, so your movement targets, your calorie targets have included the movement that you do. So if you just eat more because I'm going to the gym, then you're overeating. Question, I won't be able to lift weights this week, which is my usual way to work out. Should I be walking extra and or eating less with that in mind? Right, as a general rule, if you've got 1 week off of lifting or exercise, it's really not a problem. If it's longer than 1 week because you're injured or something like that, then we might need to look at calories. For this person in particular, you will tell me that you don't like working out at home, and with love, I will tell you that there are over 50 recorded workouts in our app library that take no more than 30 minutes for you to do. So I would tell you that I call out your excuse and I raise you the opportunity to use 3 of the workouts that are in the app. Whether or not you take me up on that challenge is completely up to you. But this is for everyone. Not being able to get to a gym, outside of being injured, etc., there are over 50 workouts for you to choose from in that library. So you should be lifting weights, you should be doing some strength training 3 times per week, and that's why those workouts are there. As a second option, get more steps in, but like I say, with love, I challenge you to do 2 to 3 home workouts, and I'd love for you to prove me wrong. I've been doing this a few months now, and I think in general my choices are better, and I'm more aware and conscious in general of what I'm eating. So do you think it's still important to track via MyFitnessPal what I'm eating on a daily basis? I know you said at the start we didn't have to, but do you think it's good practice to continue doing it? So why don't you, for the rest of May, not track and see what happens? For the rest of May, don't track and see if you can manage your calorie deficit just through your intuition. Okay, when I exercise, I find it really hard to catch my breath. I feel like I'm panting for my life. Is this because my fitness levels are so low, and will this improve with more exercise? Yes, this is your fitness levels, and this comes down to consistency and consistently doing 3 workouts a week, which is something you've already talked about. You know what you should do, and not doing it, not being consistent. So if you're not being consistent, why not? If you want, something, I saw one of my friends, Deborah, post this on Instagram earlier, and I needed a reason to use it today, but just wanting, this is for everyone, just wanting and wishing to achieve your goals isn't enough. Just wishing you could lose weight, be fitter, be healthier, just wanting to lose weight, be fitter, be healthier is not enough. You actually have to do the work. Just being part of my coaching program isn't enough. You have to do the work. You have to be accountable to yourself. You have to be consistent. You have to put in the work. You have to make the sacrifices. You have to set the alarm. You have to prep the food. You have to call yourself on out on your own BS. You have to stop making excuses. So, yes, you haven't been consistent. You are making excuses. And if you can find that consistency and do the work, then you will get the results. But all of you, including me, you know, I've signed up for a half marathon in 4 weeks. I can't just hope that I can run 21 kilometres. I have to practice. I have to put the miles in. I have to do the training. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't just hope, can't just wish, can't just want. Have to do it. Okay. Any other little tips or tricks to boost energy? So for this person in particular, but also in general, all of your non-negotiables, all of the habits that I set you are designed to help your energy levels. So for you in particular, this is going to be down to sleep, stress and upset. So keep ticking the boxes, make time for your self-care and keep going, and your energy will improve. Okay. I think that's everything. Well done, everyone. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Got quite passionate, didn't I? And my voice lasted. Thank you all for checking in, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.